Hey, what's up, card fighters? BOTCG here, and this is kind of like a pre-release market watch that I was inspired to do. I was looking up one later while I was doing some other stuff on my computer, and I thought it was something interesting, and I haven't done it before, and we've been awaiting this set with bated breath. So I thought, let's give the Western community a little bit of a leg up and see what we need to be looking out for if you haven't been exactly like paying attention to what's been going on in the Japanese meta, what's expensive in Japan versus in the West. Like myself, I generally don't like to pay too much attention to the metagame in Japan, especially when we're in like long periods of downtime in between sets like this, because it'll kind of like just spoil the set for you, especially if you play tested a bunch like pre the set officially releasing. You'll kind of get bored of it very easily, and you'll get bored of fighting certain decks. Even though they're technically brand new, they're not new to you, and you'll just be kind of always looking towards the horizon to what's coming next. And I don't like spoiling sets for myself like that personally, so I kind of just wait till it comes out and see how I can meld what's in this set with what's in my brain, if that makes any sense. But yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna be using TCG here. There's really no other site better for comparing generalized card prices here. Got the FFRs here. Is there a way to look? Is the gridded? Is that better? The gridded view? Yeah, that's way better. That's way better. So market price 70. The FFR for Varga's out of stock. We have the FFR for the Divine Sister. I believe this is one of the new cycle cards when it's discarded or for guard. It's currently going for around 65 each in the median. Got the FFR for the Dollmaster going for 60. I don't think these prices are too bad for pre-release FFRs. Like if you really wanted to bling out, I wouldn't mind blinging out for these prices, in my personal opinion. If I were, like, I wouldn't want to pay 4 copies. Like that's a lot of money, broski. But if I were, I wouldn't necessarily mind too much. And then we got the SR. I believe these are the silver rares, where the little numericals are also silver and the text box is silver. Currently, we got it for one going for 60, the other going for 66. Other silver rares. I'm guessing this is another cycle card. I'm guessing they're just doing what they usually do with the generic cards, which is making all the generic cards, the good generic staples, triple rares, because that's just like what their track record has been. Let me see here. We have the silver rare. Let's get into the lower rarities. These are pretty expensive for reprints. I understand that this one got like the Esfardo, the Spiritual King of Aquatics, got really expensive apparently. But with cards like this, that when it comes to like one of cards like this, it's easier to just bite the bullet early and pay that like 20 to 30 to 40, sometimes $60 price tag, just to like what they skyrocket to. Like this is just a reprint and they're going for $41 a piece. More silver rares. Let's see if we can get the ballpark of what the... Oh, we already got the ballpark of what the triple rares are going. So this is the triple rare. Let me make sure I'm not capping here. Put on guard from hand. Yeah, this is the cycle card. So this is the triple rare cycle card for Dark States. Currently I know these are pre-order prices, but they're currently going for around $35 to $36 a piece. Yikes, man. So yeah, if you didn't get your playset split, which that's what I usually recommend, if you're not buying singles, I wouldn't recommend cracking packs just to try and crack packs, because usually in Vanguard, it's just that's a very easy way to just waste all of your money. just because it's not very optimal to buy packs in Vanguard, especially. So either buy singles or get playset splits. But if you're not getting your playset splits, I would recommend that you do go to those pre-releases to get these cards that you're probably going to need in the future of Divine Z format. Like this is the, I believe this is the cycle card for, yeah, this is the cycle card for Dragon Empire. Going for this around the same price, $36 to $35 a piece. That's the SR, which is not bad. I've heard that this deck isn't it isn't bad. It's just more so not very popular, I guess, or it's too technical for what it is. Or this deck has always been kind of glass cannon-y, so I could see it still being kind of glass cannon-y. See here, some more SSRs. If they're selling it for that price, I'm sure this one would tank. $30 for the boss. It's a triple rare boss grade 3. $30 isn't too... It's a little bit expensive, but considering it's what you need to be able to play the deck definitively, I would say that's a very generic price in terms of Vanguard. Now, granted, these are pre-order prices, so this could go down to like 20s to 25s a piece, or maybe even lower than that. But if I was picking a playset of these for 30 a piece, I wouldn't feel too bad about it. Cycle card for Stoicheia is fairly cheap, around $20 a piece. Not too surprising, since not many people play Stoicheia. Stoicheia, in my opinion, Stoicheia is still one of those... They have a lot of really good cards, but they're still somehow not that good. I guess it's just the way the nation is structured, but they really haven't been like super tier 1 top tier in my opinion since Magnolia Elder was dominating the format. And this is the one for Brantgate. This is a triple rare, correct? Yeah, this is a triple rare. Going for less than $20 a piece. SRs. So I guess SRs are getting valued lower than FFRs. Maybe because I think they're easier to pull, or maybe they have the same pull rate. I'm not sure. But that's definitely what it looks like by these pre-order prices. This legitimately doesn't look like a real card. This doesn't look like a real Vanguard card. This looks like a manga card, dude. That's crazy. This tripper is going for... I could see this tripper going way down. This is usually how it goes. Wow. Look at how much... I always knew that the blue one was better than the red one, just because my inkling was 100 million crit versus 100 million restander. I felt like the 100 million crit was better, in my opinion, even though you could technically say that they're the same, but it depends on the circumstances. But I always liked having that extra 100 million critical trigger. And it seems like just over time it's proven to be way more versatile than Valnet. Like, that's another thing about the blue overtrigger. The blue overtrigger is good no matter when you hit it. Valnet, if you hit it while you have no board, you're kind of forced to commit something. Whether you might have not been ready to commit that card. Sure, you get a draw out of it, but you're not necessarily getting the full value that way, in my personal opinion. I guess you get SRs with the Trial Deck cards as well. 25s for Raziel. That's where I would expect Raziel to be honest. Obviously, I do believe this will go down. I could see Raziel going for this lower price after pre-orders, like maybe like a 2 weeks or a week or 2 weeks after pre-orders. But yeah, if I was picking them up like as part of like a playset or a bundle, I wouldn't necessarily be too terrible. But if I was picking all of these up like as singles, then it would really just hurt the wallet, of course. But if you were just picking up one nation or two nations, I don't consider these pre-order prices too bad. To whereas I would tell you to, because they could just stay the same. So I wouldn't consider these pre-order prices too bad, where I would tell you to just not buy it. If you feel like it's worth it to you, then I would say these prices are acceptable prices to buy it. Some more silver rares. Yeah, some of these FRs and silver rares are just gonna be naturally because of oh wow, around $7 to $8 for the Dragon Empire Overtrigger. I mean, it's a foil reprinting, but this has been printed 3 separate times, including the Shiranui trial deck, and considering not now, of course, because our restriction list was shown to have no changes, but in the future, potentially this will get choice restricted with Shiranui, and the common version will just be really cheap to pick up if you need it. Yeah, in terms of these, like, really, in terms of these foils for these supporting cards, I would say hold off on buying them. Just generally, where it comes to like supporting cards like these, they tend to like not hold their value as much. Like, you see this is going for $7. I could see this going for way lower than that, especially with FRs versus SRs. $6, that makes sense. This looks like the triple rare support card for Raziel. Yeah, it says Raziel. Going for around $18 a piece. That's really pricey for a support card, even though it is a triple rare. So, honestly, my recommendation with this set would probably be pick up the boss grade 3s now if you're worried about like them going up in price or stagnating in price. I would pick them up now, and then I'll pick those up now, and then I would wait like a week on the triple rare staples, and then I would wait like a little bit more for the supporting cards, just because generally support cards like this don't tend to hold their value because they're tied to a specific deck like Raziel. Unless the deck is like really good straight out the gate, which Raziel is good, but I wouldn't say it's the best out of Divine Z. I believe this is the one for Varga. You see, like, this is where I would expect a support what is this, a double rare? This is double rare, but this is where I would expect support pieces for these archetype decks to be at around the $5 range. Support card for Raziel. A card like this I expect to tank. Like, generally double rares, I could see this one holding its value just because I feel like Varga is a little bit more well liked than Raziel, and also because it's dragons. So I could see this holding its value, but I could see this like being like like a couple dollars or like cents. Blitz support card. This is a triple rare. Yeah, this is like this around this price range is where I would expect supporting triple rares and double rares for these types of archetypes to be at. So this is a triple rare, and she's going for this low. Now these, not really side character decks, but I would call these not the main deck archetype decks, like Vallejo, Valino, and the Dollmaster. I feel like you could pick these. I wouldn't pick these up at their pre-order prices. I feel like you could pick these up really cheap, like week 1 or week 2 after the sets drop. Like, you could probably pick these decks up for either close to $100 or even like very lower than $100 for their support pieces, or even to just build their deck. And I'm talking like perfect guards, triggers, and the whole 9 yards. I know they put these cards in here. I'm not sure if these will... I haven't really kept up with these I believe these are the MyGo cards. I haven't really kept up with these just because we didn't get them and we weren't guaranteed to get them, so I didn't want to bother learning cards that we had no way of knowing if we were actually going to get them in the English or not. So I'm not sure this late into the game how they're going to affect the meta, but I do see these going just because generally people don't care too much about these. Like Mushy King, for example, was split into the main set just like this, and it was still very cheap, and it was very good and still very cheap. So I would consider this another I guess budget option. Wouldn't pick these up on a pre-release though. Probably not. Probably not. Around $5 for the Dark States OT. I have so many of these over triggers, man. And yeah, I wouldn't buy the over triggers for these pre-order prices. My personal opinion. Uh, I know they're not too expensive if you really wanted them, but I wouldn't buy them for what they're being sold at. Neither of these supporting SR or FR cards. If you really wanted them shiny, I would wait until after the set released because, again, support cards like that generally don't tend to be super expensive unless the deck is very waifu or very broke. The collab cards seem to be sitting around like $4 to $5. Again, like, look, you can just get, like, you can, and I know, Welstra, basically what they did with Welstra is that you don't need any, damn near none of the old Welstra cards. You can just literally pick up the Welstra support cards in this set and, you know, fill it in with some old Welstra cards, and then you have your Welstra deck. And it's like, I could see this going for way cheaper than this, man. Like, if you're trying to buy one of these cheaper decks, I would definitely tell you to wait. If you're trying to buy one of the, I would consider like poster decks or like all-star decks, then I would say, yeah, go ahead and bite the bullet on them and buy them for $25 or $30 a copy for the main grade 3. Like, look at this, man. This guy is gonna go for dollars or like less than dollars on release, guaranteed. Like, these are gonna be really good, affordable decks for the game. In my personal opinion, I could be wrong. This is just pure speculation. From my personal experiences, of course. From my personal experiences. Is this a Raziel card? This is a double rare. I don't feel like this is gonna keep its price. Let me just double check what this is. I don't feel like it's gonna keep this price unless like someone like finds the secret hack and that like becomes a really good card out of nowhere. But I could see this going for dollars as well. Like, of course, this is pre-order. You have to take it with a grain of salt that some of these prices are quite inflated. Rares? I thought we only got the, I thought we were only getting the Elementaria rares. I don't know. There's so many DPGs printed, unless you really want the Succubus Girl art, I would just pick up the older DPGs for cheap. And you only need 3 of them, because you're going to be running one of the Elementarias. Look at this, another deck, Christrain. Christrain was proven to be like a really solid deck in the Japanese meta, and it's not a fan favorite, or I guess it really wasn't a fan favorite. Like, look, I could see this deck potentially, the prices increasing, potentially. I could see this on the prices increasing, not the other ones, though. Like, yeah, this is Chris, is this Chris Rain support card, or is this the discard fodder? Yeah, this is Chris Rain support card. This is where I expect support cards to be at, around this dollar range. Again, man, if you really like a lyrical, you can pick up a fairly cheap, Chris Rain core. More double rares. This set is just chock full of so many cards, and the fact that they didn't increase the ratios, the pack ratios, or anything for this set either, which is gonna make it a real bummer to pick up certain cards. Which is why I recommend, if you're buying singles, to pick up those singles within the first couple weeks of the set release, because after the first 1 to 2 weeks, even 3 weeks after the set's release, it's going to be really hard to get certain singles out of this set. This is just going to be a really sought after set, and more often than not, people buy case splits. People don't open up packs, or people just buy the singles, and because like the ratios are already wonky as it is, and people aren't buying singles on top of that, some of these cards just might inflate out of nowhere just because they're really hard to find. Like, I could expect this to be very cheap, and then, like, let's say a month after the set comes out, these cards start increasing in price, like, over time, just because of how hard they are to get. Yeah, like, buying double rares for around this price is fine. I expect these types of double rares to be cheaper, especially the side deck support cards, most definitely. And I know there's support cards in these decks for the startup deck sets. Don't buy these. Don't buy these at all, guys. Most definitely don't buy these. Don't buy those, guys. That's all I gotta say. That's actually pretty cheap for a Dragon Empire perfect card. Yeah, we reached pretty much the end of it. It's just after these like double rares that going for, you know, what I would expect these types of double rares to go for. I know I've been saying that a lot. But, yeah, this is, like, what I would buy these types of cards around. Yeah, there they are, these. I thought they weren't gonna include the effect, perfect cards. It was just gonna be the Elementarias, but I guess it makes sense. Because then the Elementarias would be really expensive in terms of just set one. But, yeah, guys, the rest of these is just common cards. Not really much to go over here. I think, set one, we've all been waiting for this set and heard great things about it from the Japan side. It looks great. I really like the mechanics in this set, especially the defensive mechanics. The very aggro playstyle of Raziel. I'm with that. I'm ready for that. And yeah, you're gonna see more content in the future when I do get my hands on these cards. Maybe we'll do another deck building stream. So yeah, look forward to that as well. But anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. We're super close to that 1K now at this point. I know we've been on a little bit of a video hiatus. That's just because locals has been very wonky for me lately. My motivation to play has been really wonky. I just haven't been in the right mode to play Vanguard lately, to the degree that I usually do. And I'm really hoping that Fated Clash will change that. I'm really excited for all these decks out of Fated Clash. But anyways, guys, y'all have a great night. Later.